That'll work. It's a good wind. Feel that? It's blowing right that way. It's iffy. Iffy. All right, guys. Well, here we are, October 5th. We hunted the 3rd, saw that same doe and fawn, and then took the day off yesterday to get some work done. And today, the 5th, we've been moving cameras all day on the farms. Came here to the Big Bird farm, tried to find a stand location, and unfortunately, we're just not able to find anything. So, came back to this hay bale blind. We have northwest winds, which are frankly pretty iffy for this spot, so that's why I'm doing these ozonics right away. And to keep a long story short, we pulled another card, and we've deduced that I'm pretty confident in saying on the 1st we were able to get out of that blind clean, because not only a few hours later the drop tine walked from the east going right back by where we had the hay bale blind by the apple tree. Then we had the 6x5 come the next night. It actually wasn't the drop tine. So in theory, we haven't had photos of the drop tine since the 2nd/1st. And tonight, I feel like with this bedding area right to our east, northwest wind sets up perfectly for them to exit with the wind at their face. Like I said, it's a good wind for them, iffy wind for us. Hopefully they come out, come and get a drink, and we can get it done. So the front arrives tomorrow. I know Mike Reed's out hunting for his first sit tonight. I know Caleb's out, I know Zach is out, Justin Carnes is out. So a lot of troops in the woods. Hopefully somebody can get it done tonight. I feel like we're watching paint dry, but you know, as frustrating as it is, this is probably our best bet, and we're gonna sit it until we don't think that's the case. So we're gonna tuck in here. Hopefully as this wind dies off, that deer movement ticks up, and exciting sit ahead. All right, well, while we wait on these big deer, hopefully to move, one of the things that I did not do a good job on today talking about was one of these features that I recently learned was a thing, thanks to Jared Larson at Onyx, and it's called rangefinder mode. And basically, as simple as it seems, it's a compass. And today, while we were trying to figure out a tree stand location, which I simply could not find one. I mean, nothing made enough sense to be blowing our wind into the bedding area like that. So ultimately we're going to wait to maybe make a more aggressive move in there. There were trees, just isn't the right time of year to do it. But using this is how I was able to determine what direction we were actually facing inside of those woods. And so knowing that we got a direct west wind, or maybe it was a northwest wind, you know, you can just basically go play with, you know, let's just say it was halfway between southeast, that's going to be represented in the northwest, etc., etc. So another cool thing is when you turn it to rangefinder mode, you can click this guy on, and it gives you various check marks and dash marks for your yardages. And so, for example, I know that the corner of this pond right here, this is where we talked about where that little rock is and the tuft of grass, that is 19 to 22 yards. So when I move it to that dark tuft, or what I feel like is the dark tuft, it's right at 22, 23, so very accurate. Again, just if you're using this as a gun, maybe you were out west and you were trying to drop a pin because you spotted something from a different canyon, you know, you can obviously do this way more zoomed out. But, you know, so like let's just say hypothetically, how far is range finding to the apple tree? 226 yards is what it says. And we could test that with the rangefinder. But point is, nice little tool that maybe wasn't, you know, always known that was in there, and it definitely gives you a true, you know, direction on the compass. So we used that today. We struck out with a tree stand location, but just figured it'd be something to talk about to pass the time, and maybe you knew about it, maybe you didn't. I don't know. We'll see. Heck yeah, she is. Munching on the apples. All right, guys, well, we got our first deer movement of the evening here. And doe and fawn are earlier than they have been each sit. And it's only, I don't know, 6:20, something like that. 6:30. So they keep looking back in the woods here. Hopefully that means that there's deer behind them. We'll surely see what happens here. Well, we're down to our last 3 minutes here. And we just saw the other group of does that I think call this a farm home. And it's a doe with 2 fawns, so that makes our total for this evening 5 does. Or 2 does and 3 fawns, no bucks. But it felt great tonight. It was a beautiful evening. You can feel the temperature starting to drop, and we might just make our first sit tomorrow morning. Haven't quite decided on that, but the front is here, pressure is rising. That's about all you can ask for early October, so we got perfect entrance, perfect exit. It's hard not to hunt this spot. We'll see what happens between now and dark.